Welcome back to Everspace 2. I did a couple episodes with this game when it first came out on PC. Loved it, had a great time. Didn't end up spending a lot of time playing it afterwards just because I ended up moving on to other games. But Everspace 2 is actually one of my favorite space simulators, or I guess Everspace as a whole. I played a ton of Everspace 1. Actually, I spent a lot more time in that one than I spent in 2. But I'm about to try to make up for some of that discrepancy because Everspace 2 just came out on Game Pass. I noticed it this morning and I was like, oh, hey, wait, I like this game. I want to play this game again. And I'm also really curious how Everspace 2 handles a controller because I originally played it with a mouse and keyboard on PC, and there's a very different set of problems to solve when you're dealing with a mouse versus dealing with a controller when it comes to space sims. In fact, I remember one of my favorite ever space games that I played was Freelancer back, I don't know, was that 20 years ago? Please don't make me feel old by telling me it was 20 years ago. But I loved playing Freelancer, and one of the controversial things about the game when it first came out was the fact that it didn't really support a joystick at all. The entire thing was geared towards people playing with a mouse, which made hardcore flight sim people frustrated with the game, but made it much more accessible to the broader audience, which included me, people who don't have flight sticks but really love the idea of playing sort of a freewheeling space game. So Everspace 2 is a lot like Freelancer in terms of it being a freewheeling space game. And so I loved it with the mouse and keyboard, and I'm just really curious how it feels on controller. So that's mostly what we'll be focusing on today, partly just let's introduce Everspace 2 to reintroduce it to me and introduce it to anybody who hasn't played it before, and then let's see what it's like on a controller. By the way, I'm not sure how my audio levels are, so we'll see how these go. Okay, I think I'm louder than the soundtrack, so we can probably hit new game. Let's play on normal difficulty. And, I choose my control scheme up front. Okay, so people who played racing games and Everspace 1 with the controller have one set of options. People who play first-person shooters have another. Okay, so how are they different? I'd love it if they would, highlight the differences. Okay, so first-person shooters, looks like hover down is left trigger. Hover up is left bumper. And then the left stick is thrust and strafe. Okay, yeah, so it'll play like a first-person shooter. Whereas if I do racing games, I'm thrusting forward with left trigger and thrusting backwards with the left bumper. And then strafing and hovering. Oh, going up and down. So basically it's whether forward and back with the left stick is forward and back, or if it's up and down. That's interesting. Okay, so I think I'm definitely going to go with the first-person shooter model. It's cool that they offered this up front so that I could sort of gut check what's going to feel right to me at first before I start, and now I'm also aware of the option in case I choose the wrong thing. I think they should have highlighted the only two things that were changing, because I'm pretty sure that nothing else on this changes. It's just hovering and thrusting. Is the only thing that changed. So they should have highlighted that so it was easier to tell what was changing. And then, I need to also switch pitch inverted. And by the way, I'm assuming inverted is an interesting one because I assume that because of referencing first-person shooters, inverted means forward is down and back is up. But because this is a flight sim, they could think that they could have their inverted setting inverted. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to switch to left-handed because I am not left-handed. And I should say hi to some new people who just joined the chat, including Jorsini, Orathous, and Cogs has been here a while, but I hadn't acknowledged him yet. So good to see you here too. Cogs is saying that he thinks I might be a little too close to the mic. So, okay, I'll try to back off a little bit. I raised the gain on the mic because I was having serious volume problems before. But if I'm coming in a little too hot now, I'll try to stay back and see how that goes. Here we go. I'll try to keep an eye on my game audio levels to make sure they make sense. I forgot the entire story of this game, so it's like I'm seeing it fresh. By the way, Everspace 1 was a roguelike, but Everspace 2 has more of a far-flung
Approaching extraction area.
single-player storyline.
All miners stay in formation. Wingman, you take up the rear. Understood.
Okay, so I guess this is me. Where does my head belong? Probably upper right. Okay, yes, inversion is correct. And I can go faster by pushing forward on the stick. Got a bunch of friendly mining ships.
Crap. What's wrong? Boosts are jammed. Could use a push. Hey, Ben, we've got a clunker back here. Got it. Let's meet near his ship.
Hey, by the way, let me know...
What's going on with it? No problem. I can fix it.
There's going to be a lot of chatter over the radio during this. Let me know if it's the wrong volume for you. Like, if you think it needs to be louder or softer, I can change it.
There you go. Just a few adjustments and as good as new. Thanks, Ben. I'm nearly out of nanobots. Say, how's your ship holding up? Just the usual wear and tear. Don't tell me you want to run another mobility check. Can't risk you breaking down in the middle of a fight, can I? All right, knock yourself out. First, show me 2 healthy strafes. Left and right.
Here's a strafe.
There.
By the way, check out the detail on the ship. There's little tiny like retro rockets and stuff firing when you move like this.
And there. What about your hover thrusts? Man, I can so hear your smile. Isn't it nice to have someone who cares for a change? Now some rolls.
Wait, how are rolls done? Not like this. Wait, right stick Oh!
2.
Okay.
Finally, I need one last strafe with a boost to the right.
So, I was clicking and holding the right stick while tilting the right stick, which is hard to do, but also roll isn't necessary a lot of the time. So I guess they can make that hard to do and it's all right. Okay, so I click the left stick to boost.
As slinky rocket dodges go, I'd give you a 4 out of 9. Yeah, you're in good enough shape for the junk pile you're floating. Try telling that to Callahan. I bet 10 creds that if we don't catch up, he'll threaten to remove this ship from our tally. Nah, he's a jerk, but not that bad. I'll take that bet. Let's not keep him waiting then.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Just
cruise
8
drive.
more shifts. Have you finally picked a homeworld? Yep, Eden 12 it is. Ridiculous name, but just can't say no to those terraformed lakes. I can't imagine what it'd be like to finally be out. It'll be plasma gin and sunsets, my friend. After the grind we've been through, that's the least we deserve. Well, if it isn't our 2 slackers. 5 seconds longer and I would have removed this shift from your tally. What's the situation? There's a Hydra infestation clogging up the entrance. And since you're the one that gets paid for handling these things, I thought I'd be so kind as to let you earn your creds. I'm on it.
All right. So, RT.
Still jammed? Nice. Wingman, you go in first and secure a path to the core. The engineer will follow with some distance in case anything needs fixing. How much distance? Enough to make a U-turn, should he run into trouble. The rest will wait outside with me until I give the signal. All right, I'm going in.
So one of the things that is notable about Everspace 2 is how agile they make your ships. They let you know that you're covering huge distances when you're going between things like asteroids, but when you're at an actual asteroid, you're very nimble and you've got a lot of control over like how your ship can go around corners and dodge obstacles. And the more you practice, the better it gets.
Looks like the last shift never left.
Okay, so just reminding me how to do all of this stuff. I don't think I have to All I have to do is get to the core using all of these tools. Okay, so here they're reminding me how to roll. Oh, I can pick something up. Yay, free stuff. Yeah, rolling is a little bit awkward. Hopefully it doesn't damage me too much when I hit a wall. Again, let me know if you have any trouble hearing me over my laser blasts.
Lots of dead outlaws and miners in here. Yeah, and since the Hydras had time to spread but haven't devoured them yet, I'd say they killed each other less than 48 hours ago. Scrap. Might want to consider that U-turn. Some of the outlaws may still be alive.
Uh-oh.
Forget Callahan. I can take care of myself.
What is this? Oh, it's a wreck that I can search, and I can pick up loot from it. Okay, yeah. So this game has got a lot of looting going on in it. Got to get close to stuff. Transfer all. And eventually you spend this stuff on, like, upgrades and things for your ship. I think some of this stuff can also be used to, like, solve problems. Like, open doors and stuff. It's basically just an inventory system like you'd see in any number of games. At least I think that's how it works. I'm going off my memory here, which is faulty. Some credits over here. I can't possibly leave something behind. Is that a thing? Nope. Okay, okay. Back to the issue at hand.
The entrance to the core is blown. Try using your missiles.
Ah, missiles. Uh-oh.
Whoever sent that might still be in there. We'll see.
I fired my gun because I forgot how to go up and down. Here we go. So I think this is like a quest item.
Wait here until I've had a look inside. Please be careful.
All right. Peeking around. Doesn't seem to be much. Yay! No problems at all. False alarm. Who's that?
Finally, my rescue squad.
I have no idea who you are.
Hey, you're G&B scum. This'll take care of you.
Sorry, pal, but there are no rescue squads out here.
Ooh, coil gun. Not sure what that is, but it...
Everyone, the risk meter just went way up. There were outlaws here, and maybe more are on their way.
So what? We've still got an armed escort outside.
They could be here any minute.
All the more reason to work fast. Let's do this, people. Those crystals won't mind themselves.
Ben, that outlaw was from Bloodstar, not just some low-level grunt.
Bloodstar.
Had a custom-built coil gun. I'll keep an eye on the main shaft, and I'm gonna hold on to the coil gun. Let's hope we won't need it.
Equip the coil gun. All right, so there's the... So we've got... Let's see here. Okay, so I'm navigating my cargo. I've got this coil gun. I can hold X to equip it. And now it's here. So I've got my pulse laser that I was just using. Fancier coil gun with much more DPS on the kinetic side, but less on the energy side. That has something to do with shields. So I think energy is good at taking down shields, and kinetic is good at taking down armor. There's different enemies that have different proportions of both. So you have to use the right tool for the job.
Keep an eye on the miners. I don't want any crystals to end up in the wrong pockets.
Okay, so in lower left corner it says which weapon I'm using, and it says to switch with the coil gun.
What's with the shaking?
Uh-oh.
Could be the Bloodstar guys' rescue squad. And if they spotted our escort outside, they won't just come in with medics.
Son of a lizard.
All right, want everyone to stay calm and clear of the walls. I got this.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh no!
Time to earn my creds.
I'm not your booty.
Only one left.
Oh, I guess I wasn't locked on.
That's it. Everyone all right? We're okay. Pal, take my last nanobots. You'll need them. My sensors are lighting up. There's more of them coming down the main shaft. Let's take the fast lane and bust through that drill.
So, okay, so to repair with nanobots, you see at the bottom I've got this little 4-way grid, and nanobots are on the right. If I hold B, that pops that open, and then I hit right to use nanobots, and it makes the red bar on the upper left corner fill up. That's my health. Okay, so you have to hold down. I wonder, do they have an option to let me just click the stick instead of holding it down? Boost behavior, toggle. Automatic rolling on. Let's turn that off and see what that's like. Input smoothing is on. That'll be interesting to see. If something starts feeling weird, I might try turning that off to see if that makes a difference. Okay, so now I need to shoot these.
Wingman, you go first. That patrol better be doing their job out there.
So one thing I just noticed is I was not aiming very well, but they put a fair amount of aim assist on that. Like, I should not have been able to hit each of those locks, each of those clamps with just one shot, because I was not aiming well enough to do that. So that, I mean, with the console controller, you usually do need to help people out with that sort of thing. So, we're playing Everspace 2, in case you didn't realize. Okay.
They're slaughtering the escort. God damn it. You all try to slip past. I'll keep them busy.
Ooh, lock onto targets with RS. Okay. Lock on, and then I guess I can missile them? Yes, I can. More space? We already have Everspace! Oh, I just rammed a guy. Or did I? I don't know. So you'll notice those guys, when I shot them, that last guy, he had a shield. Which means that the coil gun is not what I want to use. The pulse laser's who I want to use with shields. But these guys only have a little bit of shield, followed by mostly hull. You can see that on their health bars. So actually, this coil gun might not be the best choice for these guys. Oh crap! What was that? We got a bunch of guys closer to me of this direction. This is not easy.
My engine's overheating. I can't jump.
You'll fix it. See you back at base.
Hey, you can't just leave me here.
Sorry, Ben.
How long till you can jump again? Engine's too hot. First it needs to cool down. I'll buy you some time.
Okay, you can see that my shield is taking some damage. It's the blue bar. It recharges over time. The bar to the right of my crosshair, it seems to be my, like, ammo or overheat or whatever.
How's your ship? Cool down yet? No, still heating up. Oh, scrap! Scrap, 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 scrap! What's happening? The engine's burning, and now the fire's moving all the way up to the cockpit. Use the extinguisher, reduce oxygen. You got this. I got this. I got this. I'm falling back and regrouping.
I love that they're from the Brandon Sanderson School of Dialogue Writing, where I shot at a friendly.
Oh, no. Ah, go. Ben? right, I'm on my way.
Where you replace all your curse words with some world relevant word, like scrap. Oh, ram.
Ben, I'm coming.
Oh, it's a big guy. Can I even do anything to this guy? Probably not, right?
Ben, are you okay? What the hell was that? All systems are down.
The system is down.
Move. Inside.
Damn it! You're wasting your energy. We're locked in by a force field. Just sit tight and make the best of it.
Looks like they threw you quite a welcome party.
I've been here for quite a while already. Just a regular checkup on what I might know. Where did they grab you? Your outfit looks like GMB work crew.
You guessed it.
These jerks here got no style. Bunch of amateurs. They'll be looking to get the best price for you.
So given your professional opinion, you know a lot about outlaws.
Hell, I know a lot more than they'll ever get from me. You hear me? If it ain't Gas Mask, so where's your boss?
Things have changed, Basha. And because your cellmate here killed the chief, I am now in command.
Did he now?
And for your insults, I will make certain you suffer like never before.
Where's my friend, Corbin Grendel?
He's in the med bay, for now. Maybe you'll live long enough to fetch ransom. Your DNA scans show that you're a military clone pilot. No wonder you bettered my predecessor. I wonder what your face value is. What if I broadcast your profile?
That would be a bad idea. You may not like who will come looking for me.
Why would I heed advice from a clone?
Interesting.
Station is under attack. And the turrets.
Friends of yours?
Yeah, the kind you want me dead.
Power outage. The force field is down. This is our chance. Let's try to pry the door open. Help me. Grab the door. Pull. Let's get the hell out of here while they're distracted. This way to the hangar.
Wait, I'm not leaving without my friend.
Don't be an idiot. He's a dead man. Okay, get your friend, but hurry.
Hey, Ben.
Huh? What's happening?
It's our chance to get out of here. Come on.
Forget it, man. I'm done for.
I told you I'm getting you out of here.
Over here.
Thanks for waiting.
My pleasure. I might have more luck with a clone pilot at my side.
Clone pilot at my side. Emphasis on clone. Out of context line reads are just always weird for me. So, okay, so they did some,
Watch out.
wait a minute.
You may call this a warning shot. Attackers are advised to disengage at once.
Great. Stuck between a rock and a damn flaming meteor. It's a colonial fleet. We better better stick together if we want to make it out of this alive.
Get ready to jump.
No dice. Drives are jammed.
There's a jump suppressor down there.
Okay, let's pause for just a second because there's a few things I wanted to talk about. So, Coalición made the comment during the beginning of those cutscenes. He said, what did he say? Well, the budget clearly didn't go to the cutscene animations. Well, so I think, honestly, they made the perfect choice here because the whole point of this game is to be this, you know, just this like far-flung space simulator where you're going around with a lot of freedom and everything is focused on the gameplay. And so, you know, if they wanted to also, on top of, you know, doing all of the really great stuff they did with Everspace 1, if they also wanted to be telling a story on top of that with characters who have faces and dialogue and all that stuff, they could have blown a huge amount of budget on a bunch of like really expensive cutscenes, or they could have kept their focus where it belongs on the gameplay and just decided to, you know, to establish a style to let them make a lot of cutscenes really fast and sort of work that part of it into it without just making the entire budget about that. So yeah, you're right that the budget didn't go to those animations, but I mean, they're absolutely doing the job they need to, right? What they need is just to give us something to look at so we understand the dialogue and understand the storytelling that's going on, and they didn't take it any further than that. And those are the kinds of choices that I actually really admire in game development. It's very easy to just say, my game has got to be the hugest, biggest, everything doing game ever. And there's a few studios that can do that. You know, some studios occasionally can make something like Red Dead Redemption that really does everything. But I think it's much smarter a lot of the time for developers to sort of pick their battles, choose where they're going to putting all of their effort, and then decide on cheap but good enough ways to do the things that can fall into that category. Akina Shark showed up, by the way, and said, I really liked Everspace 1. This looks quite different. Yeah, so structurally, this game is very different. Everspace 1 was a roguelike kind of in the vein of almost like Hades, where, you know, you would play through the roguelike sequence again and again and again, but your character was a clone. I think you're playing the same character, too. They kept mentioning him being a clone. Your character is a clone whose consciousness keeps going back to a new clone body and starting again with everything that he's learned. And so there's a consistent story told across all of your refreshes, basically, but ultimately you're trying to beat some boss at the end. And I got to the boss and never beat the boss, so I never beat Everspace 1, but I got pretty far. Everspace 2 is very different. Everspace 2, you don't have that roguelike structure. Instead, it's just more of a traditional single-player story, but the kind of story that can be told with a lot of player agency, where the player decides where to go and what to do, and then the story plays out in the order that's determined by the player's choices. So it's more like Freelancer that way, I think, rather than being more like Everspace 1 in its structure. Oh, by the way, La Coalición is running a poll asking what color, what type of paint job you would want on your starfighter if you were flying around a starfighter. He's asking whether you would want like dark space camouflage, basically, or bright colors. And I chose bright colors because honestly, if you were really having a battle in space, the distance between you and other, you know, craft would probably be so enormous, no one is picking you out visually anyway. I mean, they might be able to track your drive plume or something like that, but it doesn't matter what color you paint your ship, so you might as well be flashy. So that's my answer. Unless you could do true proper stealth where you really cannot be detected by any means whatsoever, then you want to go for that probably, but if you don't have access to stealth and it's just about the paint, I'd go bright and shiny. So Rosenberg says, we'll hold you to that when you play Starfield. Oh yeah, no, if they're giving me a ship customization system, which they are, and I'm very excited about it, I'm absolutely going bright and flashy. There's no space camouflage for me. Anyway, okay, I think that's... is that everything? Oh yeah, so Orathou says, could you get the swear words? I'm talking about the fact that they say scrap and they swear by soul in this game to just replace all the curse words. He's asking, could you get the swear words all swapped out like in The Good Place? So one thing that I wanted to do in State of Decay 2 that I ended up not being the one who got to make that decision was do like either alternate versions of the lines with no cursing, or just do no cursing in the game at all, or optionally bleep the cursing. I wanted to do that because for some people, they feel like, you know, well, once your game is rated M, you can just do everything that falls under M. And so if your game is going to be M for violence, you might as well put a bunch of swearing in there because whatever. But the way that I felt about it was that people have different settings in their minds for different, categories of things that might get a game M-rated. There's a lot of people who are perfectly comfortable with like war violence and stuff like that, but are not comfortable with other kinds of violence. Or there are people who are comfortable with violence generally, but really just are very uncomfortable with swearing, because swearing is like a social thing that happens on a different, your brain processes it on a different level from, the visceral nature of combat. And so you could be totally comfortable with, acting out some horrific violence, but still be really made uncomfortable by people, swearing in certain ways. And so, I'm big in favor of not necessarily maximizing the M rating and actually, doing things if you can to make the game as accessible to as many people as possible. And so I still kind of have that attitude. And if I ever do get to be the person making decisions in that kind of space, that's probably what I would still advocate for. Okay, I've done enough pausing. Let's get back into this fight. So it looks like we need to destroy a thing that is stopping us from jumping so that we can jump away.
I hope you know how to handle a cannon.
This isn't my first dance,
Right, the military clone thing. Shooting scrap is in your genes.
Let's try this again.
So note how I'm using all of the directional movement that's available to me in order to navigate around this thing. Like you can strafe to the left, but you'll notice that what I was doing was strafing up, which is a whole different thing. Anyway, so here we got the jump suppressor. Do I have to hack it or something? Yeah, it looks like I do.
It's down.
Jumping is still suppressed. My sensors detect 2 more.
Ah, okay.
Let's find them and get out.
Oh, I probably...
Just stay out of view of that cruiser.
Yeah, good point. By the way, notice that I'm flying a different ship than I was flying before. We've stolen a ship, and my...
You okay back there?
I don't know, man. Not feeling so good.
Getting us out of here, I promise.
And my new ship is a lot less capable than my old one. For one thing, I only have 3 bars on the left side. I assume that the yellow bar that I lost was probably armor. I am really appreciating the aim assist. So what I'm trying to do is figure out which enemies will be able to see me when I'm over here messing with the jump suppressor. By the way, notice the blue bar to the left of my crosshair. Oh, gosh! The blue bar to the left of my crosshair is my boost energy. So, like, I can go until I run out of that, and then I have to stop and slow down.
2 down.
Oh, you got a little friend here.
I don't get it. The fleet has no jurisdiction here.
This is our last warning. Scans are being initiated on all units. Harboring a military clone is a violation against the peace treaty. Hand him over. We will find him either way.
It's you they're after?
I told the gas mask not to broadcast my profile. Let's finish this and get the hell out.
By the way, another thing I was going to mention about that cutscene, I love that everything about this situation is bad for my character. Like, there was a coincidence that got me rescued, but the coincidence is something that makes things worse for me, not something that makes things better for me. So I got out because of this attack, but this attack is here to kill me. So they're doing a great job of having there be, coincidences that move the plot forward, but they're always universally bad. So it doesn't feel like I'm getting a free ride. Ooh, I've charged my ult. Ults are special ship abilities, can be activated to unleash a mighty offensive or defensive power, usually charged by shooting down enemies, and have to be used to be able to charge them again. Okay, so don't waste your ult on a single weak enemy, but at the same time don't save it for too long, because eventually you'll get another one. Okay, so, and you can interrupt them partway through. Okay, so I think I'm doing fine right now. We'll hold on to the ult. I'm not actually sure. I assume it's clicking both sticks to activate it. I mean, that's what ults usually are.
We've identified you, Mr. Roslin. I'd suggest you submit your Sentinel without struggle.
Hold on tight, pal. We're about to enter Superlight. Oh, man.
Oh, real quick. One other thing I was going to say, like when they announced that basically my existence is a violation of a peace treaty, it made me think of La Coalición in the chat, because it looks like in this game we're actually playing a walking war crime, which makes me think this game is just right up your alley. La Coalición loves war crimes.
You okay, Ben? Damn, he passed out.
They're tracking us. You need to disconnect your nav, now.
Can't fly blind.
Do it.
Is that it?
Display's wiped.
Okay.
Now what?
I'll give you some chords. 1 sec. There. See that sweet shiny marker? That's our way out. I've seen clones fight before, but damn! Not your first dance. You're a goddamn prima ballerina. What's your name, pal?
It's Adam. And that's Ben in the back. He really needs a medic.
The only medics out here work for GMB, and that's not where you want to be right now. Not with a fleet warrant on your head.
Man, we were 1 foot out of the DMZ.
Don't tell me you had one of those GMB pension plans.
It's called a Lionel Grady retirement scheme.
Well, it's still a plan, and plans are for fools, my friend. I'm Dax, by the way. Let's get your friend into stasis at my old hideout. That'll give you some time to figure out how to save his life.
Guess it's the only choice I have.
So Akina Shark says, so you're classified as a weapon, not a person? I think I would fight against that oppression too. So far, it looks like my character's been hiding from that oppression, but I'm betting by the end of this I will have fought against it. One thing, I do love the fact that hyperspace is like a thing you navigate, using the same controls that you navigate everything else. It's not like I'm choosing locations on a map here. I'm just, you know, I'm navigating just a different kind of space, which is kind of cool. Coalición says, so the aim assist and the UI are both diegetic? I wouldn't say this is diegetic. I mean, I think that... No, I think that we're meant to think that I, as the player, am the only one who sees the UI. That my character has got some other kind of UI he's looking at inside the cockpit. And was there anything else I was going to say? We're probably good. Here we go to Rhodia 2. Chill beats to hyperspace 2. I guess I could have done this while I was talking. I just didn't know how long it was going to take. Here we are. Rhodia 2.
It's been a while. Let's hope that the old rust pile hasn't fallen apart.
Okay, there we go. So now we get our home base. Oh, so Akina Shark had asked a question earlier about whether or not I can upgrade my hovering speed, my strafing speed. I'm not sure. It might go up with the speed of the ship, but because you navigate so many tight spaces, I think I would always want to keep the lowest setting available to me. So what I think you might be able to do is upgrade your boost, so while you're strafing, you can boost and go faster. I don't know if you can do that. Okay, I need to manually turn off the boost. I don't know if you can do that up and down. Let's try it. Yes. Okay, you can try it upside down too. I mean, up and down too. So yeah, I think that's probably what you can upgrade, is the speed and duration of your boost. And that's how you can strafe quickly if you need to.
Hey, buddy, we're here. Oh, man, you look bad.
Thanks.
Ben's not responding. We need to do something now.
There's a med bay, but we need to get to the control room first.
So this is your hideout. This place looks huge.
An old military post, founded decommissioned after the war. I laid low here for a few years after the DMZ was established. Here we are. Yeah, worse than I thought. problem with the main reactor. It'll only hold us on basic for a while.
How about the med bay?
The cryopod can run on backup power, but no chance of getting the medical facilities running. All we can do for now is put your friend in deep freeze until we can get the reactor back up.
I want to get him in there as soon as possible.
All right.
Careful now.
In order to fix the main reactor, we'll need parts.
I can help you with that.
Good. I'll give you a shopping list then.
You know, this place ain't so bad.
We just used it to lay low for a while, really. But I guess you could say we had some good times here.
So you weren't alone.
Here's the cryo. Yeah, looks like it's working all right.
Sweet dreams, buddy.
Well, that's done. Now let's get the reactor running.
I feel like you're not telling me something. About this place. What were you hiding from? What happened to your colleagues?
Yeah, I knew you'd start asking questions if I brought you here. Look, I took a gamble on you. Why don't you take a gamble on me now? Trust a little. I'll stay on comms and fill you in on what you need to know.
See you later. So one thing I really like about this is how
A
they've...
lot of stuff needs fixing. But we're still good on resources to patch up our ships or refill our ammo should things go south. There's also some space in the storage unit, so feel free to dump your cargo whenever it's getting cramped in that Sentinel. Here's a list of what we need to fix the reactor.
Scrap metal, a cooling unit. All pretty straightforward.
The cooling unit could be a problem. Check out that nearby debris field. That's your best shot at finding one. By the way, I took the liberty of installing 2 devices into your ship. An EMP generator and an energized boost.
Not sure how I feel about you messing around inside my ship.
Yeah, well, let me know how you feel once one of them saves your life.
Okay, before I read this, notice what they've done with the storytelling here. They've layered on multiple motivations for your character. You've got your immediate personal motivation, which is saving your friend's life in the cryotube. They've got your immediate sort of like physical obligation, which is, you know, a goal right in front of you, which is, you know, fixing up the base, getting the stuff you need to fix up the base. But you've got like a longer term threat, a couple different layers of longer term threat around you, because you've got Gas Mask Guy, who's clearly a villain, who's going to be pursuing you for the bounty, and then you've got just this larger situation where the whole government apparently thinks you're a war crime just to exist. And so you've got all of these different layers of problems that were all kind of, it's just one sequence introduced all of these layers of problems to you, but you have the sense of, I know what I need to do immediately. I know what my character's motivated by right now, and I can see that beyond that, there are multiple layers of other problems I need to solve. So you get the immediate scope and the epic scope of your problems simultaneously, which is great. There are too many games that, like, they set up the epic motivation, but then everything that they set directly in front of you feels like an annoying obstacle, like a FedEx quest or something that you're like, okay, I got to do this and this and this and this. I just want to do the one big thing, but there's just so many little things I have to do that I don't know about up front. So each one feels like, am I going to get to do the epic quest? No, I've still got to do the little garbage thing. And then, so some games that do the opposite. They don't tell you about the epic quest at all, and they just put immediate problems in front of you. It makes the game feel small. And so Everspace 2 is doing a really great job here of showing you every layer and every sort of depth, like time depth of problem that you need to have in order to sort of like understand the scope of what you're trying to accomplish. So I love that. Actually, like, you know, when, say, Starfield comes out really soon, I'm really interested in seeing how they do that. Like, how do they handle the question of, you know, telling you about the larger problems you're trying to solve, but also putting things in front of you that feel very compelling to engage with. Okay, so anyway, so I've got a device. It's a warfare device or a support device, and I can install them, and they help you. They can be upgraded with upgrade tokens that are received when I level up. So when sort of device reaches level 5, it's mastered, and its modes are unlocked. With modes unlocked, you can tune it however you want. Okay, cool. So, all right, so I've got a goal to go out and grab some stuff. I can also restock my supplies. That is right here above me. So if I push restock, Basically, I've spent 1 homing missile, and I can buy 1 additional homing missile, except I don't actually have any money, I don't think. Do I? I don't, so whatever. But here's my ship. Okay, so here are my 2 devices. I've got an EMP generator, which I can... I don't know how I trigger this. Is it? Oh, maybe this is on the B button, like the nanobots are on the B button. And then we've got an energized boost. Instantly catapults the ship forward for 2 seconds. Okay, so it's just like a faster boost than usual if I need to get out of trouble. And these both have less than a minute cooldown. All right, cool. And then data, just a bunch of information, whatever. I'll read that later or not. So the hangar. Is this where I leave? Yes, this is where I leave. I had to hold down the B button to launch. All right, so let's go out there and do some freeform stuff. So this is what really makes Everspace 2 tick. So most of what we saw, that whole sequence, that was a very scripted, tunnel-like sequence to sort of introduce the storyline to you. But here's where it starts to open out just a little bit. I mean, it definitely gets much more open later on. But here, we've got a debris field that he sent me to go and investigate in order to get the cooling unit. But I don't have to go that direction. I could just go over here and just see what's going on at this asteroid. And there will be stuff to do at this asteroid. For instance, we've got some...
I reckon GMB didn't know you were a clone. No, just 8 more shifts and they would have paid me a ticket to Eden 12.
Eden 12, huh? That's one ridiculous name.
They have lakes there?
Cool. I dig lakes. When I was a kid, my old man used to take me kayaking almost every day. That was on Byron 4.
Wrong button.
Just before the whole place went to hell.
What's kayaking?
You serious? Scrap. Got a visitor.
Leave him to me.
What kind of visitor?
Maybe a good time to pop that gift bag and try one of your new devices. In the meantime, I'll lock the front door, just in case.
Okay, so I've got devices on the left. Okay, no, the devices aren't on the B button, they're on the X button. So I can stun enemies or boost forward. So let's go boost. Whoa! And now it's on cooldown. And then we can... Right, kinetic and energy damage. So my shields are solely affected by energy damage. Armor can only be brought down by kinetic damage. Right, so every enemy potentially could have 2 different defenses on top of their health. Blue is energy, blue is shield, yellow is armor. Energy goes after shield, kinetic goes after armor. And so depending on who you're facing, you might want to lead with a different weapon or even switch weapons partway through. Oh, wait, I didn't actually mean to do that because I wanted to try out this. Stunning him. Ooh, missiles. Wait, how do I get them?
Again.
He must have detected us when we reactivated the hangar.
So about kayaking.
Kayaking. Best thing ever. Say, they never told us soldier grunts how you clones worked. But I heard they gave you guys fake memory fragments to keep you motivated while fighting. If kayaking isn't in there, someone clearly didn't do their job.
Okay, it looks like we've got...
My memories are fragmented, but not fake. They're a mix of random experiences taken from my clone father's life and every incarnation that came before me. All passed on from clone to clone, until they ended up with me.
Holy! So you're some kind of body-hopping immortal soul.
Well, not anymore. The cycle was broken. So this time when
Just gonna be grabbing stuff?
I'm done.
You know what I would do if I were you?
No, what?
Not croak before I've been kayaking. I really mean it.
If I ever get the chance, I will.
It's funny to me that they're talking about kayaking right now because I actually just went... Oh.
Make sure...
I actually just went kayaking with my kids. Not really. We just went to... some friends live by a lake, and so we went and used some kayaks in the lake. But Calliope and Phoebe, they had never been kayaking before, and they actually spent most of the day just together in a kayak, which, one of my favorite things is when my kids do stuff together without me. Not because I want them to go away or something, but just because, they often have their own things going on, and they don't get to spend that much time together because they're, either at school or at work or just pursuing different hobbies. So whenever they find something they like to do together, it really just sort of, warms my heart as a dad.
So that the area is clear before you head back. Don't want word of our activities here to get around.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is just chasing around these little icons that mark things in the world. There's actually, you know, there was that debris field that I was supposed to go towards. I don't actually remember where it is now. There was a yellow marker on it before. I don't know how to get a yellow marker back. That's not it. Oh, that's my... Okay, so up on the D-pad, it was it was hovering above the icon for up on the D-pad was hovering above the objectives on the left, and so I thought it was about giving more information about the objectives, but no, it was actually under my ult. So that was my ult that I just triggered. I don't know what it does. Probably disables enemies around me or something. So I'm collecting scrap metal. I'm collecting crystals. So the crystals I shoot off asteroids. The scrap metal I find floating around near wrecked ships.
Hey, Knockroach was right. We've got new neighbors. Let's give them the tour.
There's quite a lot of traffic around here.
Yeah, something must have happened to our cloaking system.
Cooling
Any
unit.
luck with those resources yet?
I'm still on it.
Excellent.
Okay, so I think that the yellow icon was just to get me into this general vicinity, then it went away as soon as I got into the general vicinity, and then finding the cooling unit was actually about defeating the enemies. So he was suggesting I could find a cooling unit floating, you know, floating free in space, when actually what I had to do was kill a guy and take his. Oh, here we go. Crystals. By the way, I appreciate that they let me just shoot stuff to mine it instead of having to, like, switch to some special mining laser. Like, this feels much better to me. It's just simple, you know? I don't have to do some special thing, make myself vulnerable in order to mine stuff. I could even mine in the middle of combat if I really wanted to. Open. More nanobots. Cannot have too many nanobots. So, do I need to equip these? Yeah, okay, I need to equip the nanobots manually. And then EMP missiles. Oh, my level is too low to use this item. Okay, so I can't equip it yet. And a cargo unit. Oh, does that mean I can carry more stuff? Oh no, it lets me dismantle equipment. Dismantling equipment gives you parts you can use to craft or modify an item. To craft an item, select craft on an empty cargo slot. To modify an item, select modify. So I go to an empty cargo slot. I can't do anything, but maybe I don't have any resources. Or maybe I don't know. I don't know. Let's not worry about it right now. Okay, so it's just scrap metal that I need. And scrap metal looks like this. There's 3 of them right here. But yeah, so a lot of Everspace is this kind of scenario. Not going necessarily like on big elaborate missions that are scripted, have like all these scripted events that go on. It's mostly exploring a space in whatever order you want to, and just interacting with all of the different weird things that you find there. And so this kind of like serenity is a big part of it. Just like, I'm just quietly wandering around, grabbing stuff. And you get to have a lot of, I mean, it's definitely a lot of, you know, high octane action and stuff like that going on too.
Great. Now bring the parts so we can give that reactor a whirl.
But yeah, there's definitely plenty of sort of the action you'd want from a traditional campaign. But I like that most of it has this sort of relaxed vibe. Oh, another cooling unit. Interesting. Okay, so there were actually 2 different ways I could get a cooling unit. All right, I think there's just one more spot up here. Oh, it's a crystal deposit. Might as well. I've got enough crystals for my immediate needs, but I'm sure there's other purposes for them. By the way, I really appreciate that once you've gotten, like, actually shot away, like, I don't know, 75% or maybe even less of a crystal deposit, they just give you the rest of the deposit. There's no point where you're, like, trying to vacuum up the very, very last piece. Just not even worth it most of the time when games make you do that stuff. It's just frustrating. So Brendley says, I'm getting a No Man's Sky feel from this. Is the game similar? It definitely doesn't have the sort of procedural nature. At least I don't think it does. So I didn't play Everspace 2 that far when I played it the first time on PC. I know Everspace 1 did have a lot of procedural generation because it was a roguelike. Which means that it did have that in common with No Man's Sky, though it wasn't trying to simulate a massive contiguous universe. It was just trying to sort of give you a lot of fresh challenges as you played through. But Everspace 2, I don't know if it has any procedural generation to it. It might actually all be handcrafted, just because that's more the style of game it is. So that's what I would assume. I don't know that for sure, that they could have some procedural elements in this. But either way, it's not trying, I don't think, to create like an infinite universe like No Man's Sky. And it's certainly not trying to create that sense of like a layered experience where sometimes you're in space and sometimes you're walking around on the ground. Like this is definitely all space all the time. So it's more like a very sort of freewheeling space sim than it is like No Man's Sky. As I mentioned near the beginning, I think that Freelancer is probably a good comparison. Okay. Yeah, so they don't, I think they usually don't reveal points of interest on your compass until, or whatever, in your HUD, until you've gotten close to things. And so exploring, it actually really rewards exploring, because if you find a space that you haven't entered before, sometimes it looks like there's nothing there, but then when you get close, you suddenly see there's a bunch of loot and stuff flying around. But I think I really have tapped out most of what's available here, so I'm gonna head back. Is this a memory? Not quite sure what that was. Another layer to the mystery.
Not answering me. No time for a nap, pal.
Just, blacked out for a moment. Not sure what that was.
Me neither.
Blacked out? Anything I should be concerned about? It sounds serious.
No, nothing of the sort. It's just, memory loops. Or, I don't know. I haven't had them for a while.
A clone thing, huh? I think I heard something about that once. If it happens again, I want to know about it. We might need you to get examined. But for now, let's focus on our current needs and the base.
If I'm a war crime, who is going to examine me to investigate the details of my war criminess? Okay, so let's look at crafting. So I've got a bunch of resources and components. But it looks like I don't think I know how to craft anything, right? So, yeah. Perks. Okay, so each companion comes with their own set of perks. They can have multiple levels to unlock. Unlocking is done by fulfilling the requirements. Sometimes you'll need to just provide simple resources. Other times you have to accomplish certain tasks. Note that all the resources you're investing in a perk cannot be retrieved, so think about it when you think about investing. Okay, so now we've got... So is the reactor... Okay, so the reactor, managing the reactor is Dax's thing. And so I can keep upgrading the reactor and that will unlock more stuff for me. So right now, okay, so I can invest the stuff I collected into the reactor.
Ha! It worked. Never thought I'd miss this shabby place. Those Bloodstar idiots had me locked up for ages.
What do they want from you?
Well, what they want from everyone. Credits and information. Unfortunately for them, I don't share with outlaws. Anyway, this is where we're at right now. We've got lights, climate control, and access to scans of our vicinity.
Can the scans help me navigate Superlight again? I can't fly blind forever.
Good idea. We can't reconnect our navs, or the fleet would immediately locate our asses. But with these scans...
No. Going back to word emphasis in the English language. It's they're going to locate our asses, not they're going to locate our asses. It's a very subtle difference. But the fleet is not looking for your asses. They're not like they don't have like homing beacons on your butts looking specifically for your asses and nothing else. They're looking for you. They're trying to locate your asses. That's what they're trying to do. You've got to read it like that.
Here, have a look.
Cedo Outer Rim, Rhodia Orbit, and Union Bridge? That's as far as we can scan?
It's far enough for now. At least what we need to do next. I need you to fly to all 3 locations, and keep an eye out for little devices we like to call beanies.
Beanies?
That's short for beanbags. They're small DIY signal distractors, and used to keep this base off enemy radars. But obviously they don't anymore.
Sounds like a job for Ben. You need an engineer on this, not me. Why don't we focus on getting him fixed first?
No time. We're lit like a bonfire. If we don't figure out what's wrong with the distractors now, we won't live long enough to save Ben. Tend to the beanies and make us vanish. That'll give us time to figure out what to do with your friend.
Okay, so now we do actually have a map. So I'm here in Rhodia 2. Rhodia Orbit is over here. Cedo Outer Rim is over here. And Union Bridge is over here. So these are all places that I could potentially go. And then missions include, okay, the edge of the universe. I need to go to these 3 places and mess with the signal distractors. Okay, so that is a bigger mission than I think I have time to do right now. So I think okay, so I can save. I'm not sure if I'm required to manually save, but I sure am glad I've done it now, just to be safe. But I think we should wrap this up because, yeah, I think if I start this mission, I'm going to run out of time. I've got less than half an hour before my next meeting, and so I should probably cut this out. But I'm really excited to be getting back into Everspace 2. Like, I don't think I gave it nearly enough time when it first came out on PC, and so I should give it more of a try. By the way, a little bit earlier on, I think it might have been KJ who pointed out that this is similar to Rebel Galaxy. And yeah, so that's a really good comparison. This is the same genre as Rebel Galaxy, which is another game I would really love to go back to, honestly. There's so many good space games out there, and I just don't spend nearly enough time on any of them. So that's a fault of mine because I certainly enjoy them. I don't know why I'm selling myself short by not playing them as much, but there you go. By the way, Toasted, I guess. Good to have you here in the chat. Yeah, was there anything else I wanted to say? Well, I guess let's do a quick summary of why I like Everspace 2. So Everspace 2 is a big advancement. Well, I wouldn't call it an advancement. Everspace 2 is a huge shift from Everspace 1. Both of them have the same, like, really accessible, fun, agile space combat that I got used to in Everspace 1, but where Everspace 1 was more of a roguelike, where I was just trying to, play through procedurally generated challenges again and again and again, get better and better, upgrade myself, upgrade my ship, and then finally beat a boss, which I never actually ended up doing. Everspace 2 is much more of a galaxy-spanning campaign, where you're going on quests and you're sort of chasing down leads, and you've got multiple layers of different problems to solve, and ultimately I imagine there's some kind of epic quest to save the universe. I don't know, I never got that far, but I'm really intrigued to find out. This game is a lot of fun, and so it's on Game Pass now. If you've got access to it, go check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's going to be what I play over a YouTube short at some point, Probably. But I don't know. I like doing these summaries at the end, partly because sometimes they make good YouTube shorts. And also, I don't know. I think it's probably helpful for me to just sum up what I've learned about a game, so it lodges well in my head. In this particular case, I already knew most of this stuff because I played this game 2 years ago. But whatever, it's fine. So I hope any of you who were thinking about whether or not you wanted to try this game on Game Pass, or if you wanted to buy it if you don't have Game Pass, maybe this helped. Maybe seeing what the game was helped. I hope it did. So either way, though, let's get out of here. So there is a subscribe button and links to other videos. If I come back to Everspace 2, I'll put that here. And I'll put my old playthrough of Everspace 2 there in case you want to watch the exact same content again. And I'm not sure why you would, but there you go.